What is going on with this thing? It's still not working. It's still not working. What do you mean? I don't understand. I have everything correct. Edit. Marlon, let me do it again. Marlon search. All right, and the thing is what 8196.158.69.411 shoutcast. Save. I don't understand. Bro, I said make I show you. Still connecting. Okay, let me stop it. Have to. I now go here, edit. See everything is correct. See everything is correct. See the password. All right. I'm now going to save and save again. And I come here, press play. It just gives me connecting. So I don't know what's going on now. As I said, we have to find a way to test this thing before the time. Okay. Oh. All right, let's go live. All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's another episode of The Village Square live on AfroSurgeRadio.com. This is your host, Marlon Solomon. And boy, what a week we have. Where do I start? Well, I'll start with saying that, yeah, this is Village Square, your community Zoom cast, getting you into work and also getting you on the getting you into work and getting you through the work week. It's for Wednesday, October 21st, 2020 at 8 o'clock. Like I said, we're live on Afro Surge Radio. And the state of the what's going on inside Village Square is concerned, saddened, but very determined. We are, of course, going to start off today talking about the Lekki Toll Gate massacre. Yesterday was a very sad day in the history of my country, Nigeria. Just unbelievable what happened. It seems as if we have not learned our lessons. All these years have passed and we continue to sit back and we continue to make the same mistakes. And yesterday, October 20th, 2020, the Nigerian police forces, who are not even the army forces, sorry, opened fire on peaceful protesters unarmed peaceful protesters at the Lekki toll gate. When I was in Nigeria, the office I used to resume every morning was on the Gali Oyorinde, 5 minutes away. So that Lekki toll gate, I know it very well. A lot of friends live in Lekki. It's not like it's a highbrow area in between Victoria Island and Lekki. And yesterday, peaceful protesters, while protesting the End SARS movement, they met some of them met their last days. They met their real trouble. It was a real disaster. Apparently, 9 people confirmed dead. The governor says that there was no death. And it's a lie, because many people have confirmed the deaths. So that's where we start today. Normally I start with my coronavirus update, but we're not going to do that. We're going to do the coronavirus a little later. Today's show is going to be, of course, very different, because this issue going on in Nigeria is very serious. Nigeria being the giant of Africa, Nigeria being such a pivotal contributor to the world. We've had everything in the world to celebrate, but good governance has not been one of them. We have all the resources, we have all the human resources, very smart, intelligent people, as I've always said. But the issue is that there is no way that we can progress unless we see changes, structural changes, real systemic changes in the government, because there's just no way that it can be done otherwise. We cannot continue to sit here and be waiting. And I think that's what the issue is. People in power, they just want to wait us out. They want us to sit down and relax and, we're going to wait for a problem, then they'll continue as usual. But I think that they can see that beyond the shadow of a doubt that there is no more, that boat has sailed. There will be no more issue of waiting for some miracle to happen. We understand that unless change is forced upon these animals, there's no way anything can happen. I have not really slept all night. I have been on social media looking and seeing what's going on. And I must say, Black Tuesday, as it's being called, the Lekki Toll Gate Massacre, as it's called, is a wake-up call. And I hope that every year on the 20th of October, we shall remember this day, remember those that are lost, and remember the struggle. Because there's literally no way out. If we do not stand up now, then when? If they are killing our brothers in the streets, our sisters in the streets, and we back down now, then I don't think that Nigeria would have any hope. So I will go over some of the issues that happened yesterday. So around late morning, early afternoon here in Dallas, Texas, where I'm broadcasting from, we started getting word of a curfew that was supposed to begin at 4 p.m. local Lagos time. We heard that this would happen, and many people expected there to be some issues in regards to this. Now, these issues, we now know that the protesters not only expected it, they went down, they gathered peacefully And at that time, we didn't know this, but the video cameras at the Lekki tollway, this is a toll gate. This is where cars go, they pay a toll, they pass through. For those who don't know the geography of Lagos. And once they got, so they remove all the cameras that usually probably take videos of, cars passing through. They removed all the videos. This should have been a first sign that obviously something was maybe going to go down there. And before I get to the part of what happened in Lekki, I want to also let people know that there were many other places, especially high population, with places with a lot of poverty and a lot of what we call area boys, a lot of local young men who, through no fault of their own, lack of education, lack of resources to, and opportunities, have been forced into a life of, whateverism. And these places were not attacked so brutally as what happened in Lekki, which, like I said earlier, is a bit of a highbrow area. It's not really, you won't find the most rough, poor, poverty-stricken individuals there. That's where they chose to attack. So now back to the story. So when 4 o'clock came, we're getting pictures on social media, which of course is now the difference in this fight. Nigerian government has always kind of been like this, very, very rough-handed, but they've never had to reckon with the fact that we had social media now, that anything you do. I was here in Dallas and I was able to see what was going on at the Lekki Toll Bridge live. So the army soldiers apparently came up to the protesters. The protesters now sat down on the ground and was waving their flags. So this was a sit-in. This was not like people were being like, this was a very peaceful protest. And they sat down and they literally started shooting at unarmed protesters, killing reportedly nine souls. May their souls rest in peace. Amen. And these protesters, after getting shot and the scrambling and the running, funny enough, in the midst of all this mayhem came just an exemplary example of bravery with your life on the line, from another young woman. And I want to just even give a shout out to the women that have been leading this End SARS movement. Because we haven't, yes, there are men out there, no, of course, but these women have been pillars of strength and resilience during this movement. I want to make sure that I give them their due respect. And this came from a local DJ called DJ Switch, who, as a lady, a DJ, community leader, has been front and center of this fight and was in the Lekki crowd. And during the mayhem, she started broadcasting live on her Instagram. She broadcasted and broadcasted and broadcasted. And up to when I joined her, she was like at 21 or 22,000 people following her Instagram. My friend had joined her. They said she was actually started at 750 people when he did it. Within an hour, because I literally started listening to the whole what was going on. There was very little video, mostly just audio. She had over 150,000 people on our Instagram live. And the only reason why it didn't get any higher was because her battery died. I remember her actually saying on it that she has 13% on her battery. And they were looking for battery packs. This is how I was there. And that's the power of social media. And this is why the Nigerian government should really, really reconsider any further crackdown, because the culture, this is a cultural revolution. This is not a political revolution. Are we voting for anybody in particular? We're asking for human rights. This is not a matter of politics. This is a matter of human rights. And the human rights have a right. They have the right to ask and protest against that government to give them better living conditions. That's all they're asking for. They're sitting on the ground, protesting peacefully because they are asking you to give them a better life, a better future. And they are repaid with what? Bullets. Very, very sad day. So this young lady, broadcasting live on her Instagram, 150 people, I saw live, me, my own self, with my own two eyes, was there while they were searching for a bullet in the leg of a young man who had been shot by the police, by the army, by the Nigerian government. And I saw the bullet wounds. Nobody can tell me that, because later the governor said today that there has not been any deaths. Well, I really find that is just not even believable. It's just, even in fact, it's a travesty that he would go and say such a lie in front of everybody. And they shot because he knows that he's in danger. They're going to come, if this continues, they're going to come for him. That's why he's lying. But let's leave that alone. Let's continue focusing on the bravery that this young lady showed. DJ Switch, thank you. You are a hero. They were aiding and abetting. They were aiding this young man and trying to give him medical attention because there were no doctors. And later on, we saw on the social media again. I now saw a group of medical staff in an ambulance, and they were trying to get to, say what? And then the people were asking them, why are you just getting here? They said the army did not allow them to go into the area so they could treat the patients. Can you imagine? Denying, you shot people, asking for just what? Freedom and freedom of their rights. And then you now go ahead and deny medical treatment. So she did that yesterday. Meanwhile, while her numbers were going up, I think you can see on your screen, it says 83,000. This is when I took this picture, because I took some other ones, but this one was very, very bad, because that is the man's leg. You're now watching, they use one of the flags that they were using as, to protest. They used the flag to stop the blood from pouring out of the man's leg. And that is the man's leg, as you're seeing right here on the screen right now. That is a screenshot of DJ Switch's live stream that she was giving to us. Now you can even see that it says, Switch, check your requests, because people, all sorts of media outlets, CNN in particular, were trying to reach out to her so that she could give them a blow-by-blow of what was going on. She denied them. She's not looking for glory. She's trying to help our people. She said, if you need any information, please record her live, which means record her Instagram live. Take a picture like what I did. That is the young lady there. That's her picture. And now as of yesterday, when I made this meme, she was reportedly, targeted for arrest or even assassination. So we asked everybody to keep our prayers, and we do keep our prayers. We want to say, DJ Switch, you are a national Nigerian hero. And we will continue to support you and continue to do whatever we can to ensure that free speech in Nigeria, which is an essential part of any democracy, is allowed. Why should people simply protesting, sitting on the ground, why should they fear for their lives? But yeah, that's what happened yesterday. Black Tuesday, 2010-20, October 20th, October 20th. 2020. This year, 2020, has been something else. The pandemic, to the George Floyd protest, to all this craziness with, with Trump. Now Nigeria too has now felt the effect of 2020, and we hope that, like I said, this will be another round of battles towards civil rights and justice for all in Nigeria. Now, the reason, I keep on talking about democracy, because we need to be responsible. We adopted this system. We could have chosen any system in the world. We chose democracy. Democracy requires people to have free speech so that they can put pressure on the government to do what they need to do. Democracy requires media, a free press, so that the free press can report to the people what the government is doing. Up to now, we have not had a real free press, and that is exactly what the Nigerian government is underestimating. With free speech, free press, there is nothing that they are powerless. They are going to be made to serve the people, and that is exactly what the process we're going through. This is a cultural revolution to ensure that the government heals and put them into submission, that they must give the people of Nigeria their freedom. They must give the people of Nigeria their free speech. And this social media is the key. I mean, literally, I am seeing videos flow in from all over the country with people getting shot, people getting shot at, buildings burning. My city of Lagos is burning because the people, I couldn't sleep last night. So I woke up around, let's say 1, 2 o'clock in the morning here, local time. And I knew what time it said. Okay, it's like 7 o'clock in the morning in Nigeria. Let me see what's going on. And I just opened my phone. I was very worried because obviously, nobody wants violence. At this point, now that we've gotten to this point that violence is fresh, my number one fear was that the cities of Lagos would be quiet, that the people of Lagos would have submitted and have been scared off. But I was not disappointed. I know that there will be deaths. I know there will be trouble, but just like John Lewis said, sometimes there needs to be some good trouble, some necessary trouble. And that's what we need in Nigeria, is this necessary trouble. I have been, like I said, watching the reports on social media. I'm hearing that Channels News is not showing. All the news channels are not showing because they're scared. This is why social media is so important. It is so important because it is decentralized. Everybody has it, and it's everywhere. So you can see everything that's happening everywhere, and they cannot do anything about it. Maybe they'll shut down the internet, but we'll see about that. That would truly be an issue. They have petitions online calling for Buhari to be tried by the criminal courts for ordering such atrocities. Because who can command the army? He must have the go-ahead. There's pressure on the governor. The governor of Lagos this morning was at hospitals, supposedly visiting injured, because it's not him. That's another case, my brothers and sisters, that we have to look at. Why are the police not being run by the governor of your state? And so that you can hold him accountable, not somebody in Abuja. That's another story. We'll get to it later. There have been reports. I went to DJ Switch's live, and I saw they were shooting this morning. There's snipers on the roof of Oriental Hotel, which is a big hotel that's right there at the Lekki toll gate. They're still there, ready to shoot people and kill people. Because what? They want their freedom. They want to have a better future. The people in charge have been so corrupt, taking all the money that they can. This SARS issue, everybody wants to say, the SARS. Let me tell you, the policemen and the army men are just as much a victim of SARS, of the Nigerian government as anybody else. And that, you can take it to the bank. That's facts. When you don't have education, you don't have training, you've never seen a day of full light, that's electricity, in your whole life. There's no medical care, there's very poor education. And these people, some of them are very smart. They've done their high school, they've gone to university, and when they come out, there's still no jobs. Then they now maybe say, let me join the police force, let me join the army. At least something will be coming in. And these poor people now see their uniform and see their guns as an opportunity to make money. And to be honest, Nigeria is so hard that you can't even really blame them. If anybody had an opportunity to do such a thing and make money for their children and their household, that's what happens. I have a saying, I think I got it from one of my favorite movies, The Shawshank Redemption. Look, there's nothing that cannot be achieved with pressure and time. Those are the two elements for change. You need to apply pressure, and you need to apply that pressure for a long enough time. That same pressure and time can turn a lump of coal into a beautiful diamond. And right now, our country is a lump of coal, and we are going to apply the pressure, and we're going to apply the pressure for long enough to turn it into that diamond. So yes, this morning there are reports of shooting, there's looting, there's fire. I mean, now the whole lake, now it's just pandemonium. And all sorts of, paranoid reports of, is it the South is doing EndSARS, because there's a big rift in Nigeria between the North and the South traditionally. This goes back centuries, doesn't start today. But of course, exacerbated by, British rule, colonial rule, and all stuff like that. And the country broke up spiritually and culturally ages ago. In fact, some could even argue, was it ever really together? But I definitely know that ever since the Biafra War, it's not been back. And these pressures that are happening, will it bring to a breakup? I don't know. Does there need to be a breakup? I don't know. But what I do know is that there does need to be structural change to the way we run the country. You cannot, this EndSARS police issue, how do you run police from, it's really the equivalent for anybody living in America is that your everyday policing is being done by the FBI. The Nigerian police force is a federal police force. It is just like is the equivalent of the FBI in Nigeria. So imagine the FBI going around like, in SWAT teams, trying to, break up crime and harassing everyday citizens on the street. That is our issue. If you want to talk about the policing should be done from locals. You should have a local government police force. There may be a state police force, just like they have in other democracies. And you know why that's important? It's important for accountability. Right now, it is the Lagos state governor that is feeling pressure. Why? And he didn't even do nothing because, maybe he didn't warn us. That's what I'll hold him. He knew what was going to happen and he should have raised the alarm, but he didn't want to get in trouble. So he's now trying to play the middle. There will be no middle. You're either going to be left or you're going to be right. You're going to be up, down, forward or backward, but you are not going to be in the middle trying to tell us that you didn't know that you were trying. That's why you did the curfew, so people could go home in time for the, before the army came and this and that. Sorry, brother. That is not going to work. So if you don't have a proper structured police system where the locals are the one policing themselves, because the locals will now be the ones showing compassion, knowing to deal with people, knowing how to protect their own communities. But what you do, you have a federal force, people coming from wherever they're coming from, and you do that so you can keep your knee on the neck of these people. But they will be having it no more. Because like I said, when I woke up earlier this morning, what I saw, I was proud that we had not stopped fighting. DJ Switch was on there begging for people to come to Lekki, but Lekki is not where the action is really going to be. They burnt down that toll. They burnt down the GTB Bank in Victoria Island. There's buildings across Nigeria and Lagos in particular that are burning up. They burned down the BRT. I forget where exactly it was, but the BRT is the bus rapid transit. So they burnt down a bunch of buses at the station where they keep the buses. This Nigeria has decided that we're not just going to have it anymore. And that's why we at the Afro-American Culture Initiative are going to be supporting the cultural renewal through education, technology, and travel. We're going to be doing whatever we can within our mission to support. This has even nothing to do with the government. We want the government to act right. This is not political. This is about human rights. If you can see me posting about Martin Luther King, then trust me, the modern Martin Luther Kings that are on ground in Nigeria today, Martin Luther Kings like DJ Switch and many others, Aisha Yusufu, many others, people putting their face and their words together live on social media, Ms. Bakare. So many people doing these things. We're going to make sure that we continue to apply the pressure that we're going to help these kids apply more pressure. That's what these gray hairs are for. These grades are for me that at least I've been there a couple of times around the day, so I can help. I will not be able to, be on the front lines. My time has passed for that. But I am going there. There are many lines to be on the front of. And the one where we're giving these kids support, we're giving these kids education, we're trying to do all we can to support the movement to make sure that my son and my son's son, they'll have a better day in Nigeria. So we're looking for cultural renewal, a cultural reconstitution, a cultural rejuvenation, where we start thinking of the way we live our lives and move out of this constant quagmire of cultural, ethnic strife. We're all the same human being. When the bullet touch your body, it no go matter whether you are Igbo, your Hausa, your Efik, you're not from the north, it doesn't matter. The bullet will still enter your body and kill you the same. So we must be vigilant. We must start thinking long term. Those that are gone, but we cannot, the moment we stop is the moment that we can never move forward. So, like I said, we at the Afro-American Culture Initiative, we're calling for cultural renewal. We're calling for cultural rejuvenation so that these issues of ethnic and tribalism and classism, all those things, that's Nigeria of old. Nigeria is now 60 years. And we have a fight on our hands. And it's not going to end today. My dad used to say has a saying: to be a man is not a day's job. Yeah. For Nigeria to grow up, it's not going to be a day's job. And we're all going to have to challenge ourselves to look into ourselves and what we have to improve. I'm seeing a lot of cowardice from some of the so-called elites, and I'm calling you out because I know many of you. You have invited me to your weddings. You have asked me to come to your house to greet your mom. You have come to my own house. And all of you went abroad to study, and you have degrees. You have everything you need. You know, look at us living it up, fresh skin. But at the end of the day, all these things you have, what does it mean if people are hungry and starving? How can your business be thriving if there are so many people that cannot afford the services and products that you are producing? So the elites, I'm looking at you very squarely, especially the ones in the diaspora. And I ask everybody that is in the diaspora, we're going to continue making noise, and we need your support, and the people in Nigeria need your support. Trust me, Nigeria is the giant of Africa. If we win in Nigeria, the world wins. So anyway, that's where we're going to end the Nigerian section. Let me go to my coronavirus. I have not, I'll go and start talking about that. Just wanted to make sure that we started off right. And this is a new era in what we're doing here at the Afro-American Culture Initiative, and we're definitely going to take the EndSARS movement as part of our calling card moving forward. So as far as the coronavirus is concerned, the United States, and definitely abroad, the second wave is definitely here. And it looks like we're really in for a lot of problems. Like I said, I'm vacationing in Texas. Next week I'll be back in Boston. But now, so I've had this opportunity to now see what is going on coronavirus in Texas versus Massachusetts. So the numbers are actually quite startling here in Texas. Last week, I reported that we had over 4,000 new cases. Guess what we have this week in Texas? Nearly 6,000 cases, 5,863 cases. Last week, Texas had 26 deaths from COVID-19. This week, they have 80 deaths. So that's over what? That's multiplied by 2.5, right? Well done. Okay, Texas is unbelievable. Now, Massachusetts, last week in Massachusetts, we had 760 cases. This week, we had 976 cases. So definitely going up. But our deaths, because of, you see, where it's a snapshot of what we were doing 2 weeks ago, we went from 13 deaths last week to 5 deaths this week. So look at that. We had 5 deaths this week. Texas had 80. So literally, and when I came here, I told you guys that the way Texas was doing, I was actually quite surprised. Everybody just relax. It doesn't seem like anybody cares. Social distance, don't social distance, go to clubs, this and that. We don't have any club open in Massachusetts. Everything is on lockdown. Okay, so what? We know your business is suffering. We're sorry. We're not opening it. And that way we have 5 deaths and they have 80. We even had 13 last week. So this is for October 20th. One day, just to give you how this was yesterday. This was for Black Tuesday. These are the numbers for Black Tuesday. So we had 49 deaths in Nigeria, not from COVID though, from the real pandemic, the government in Nigeria. So America as a total had 929 deaths yesterday. So 929 people in the United States died just yesterday from COVID-19. And the world saw 4,028 people die. 4,000 and the whole world. This thing is killing people up and down. And it's serious. And then you can imagine that we're moving into the pandemic, into the heart of the pandemic. That's some of the news from the pandemic news this week, is that We're going into the most dark days. They've said that between the next 6 to 8 to 12 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks, I think, that is going to be the worst because of the flu. People are indoors. It's cold. It's the flu season. The virus thrives in colder, less humid environments, and that's what's happening. And all across the United States of America, coronavirus cases are up. And don't worry, in 2 weeks we'll start seeing the deaths. We had a personal issue actually in my family, and one of my family members had to go to the hospital. And unfortunately, there was almost no space in a lot of hospitals. And that's something that's not being completely reported. I think that they should be able to let people know that the hospitals near you are full. And that is not being reported. They are not showing all the deaths on the screen. So everybody in America is acting like nothing happened. Nothing's happening, but a lot is happening. When you have another health issue and you cannot go to the hospital because they're full. And you see, don't understand what is going to bring the lockdown, a second lockdown, because many of these governments across the world are dealing with England and France. They're putting restrictions. They're trying to do everything they can in order to not lock down, because lockdown will just be catastrophic for the economies, right? But you know what's going to force lockdowns? When you have no hospital space. That is, deaths do not cause lockdown, right? Cases do not cause lockdown. Hospitalizations, where you don't have literally any place to put people for them to get well, that is what causes hospitalizations. And to be honest, in the next 2 to 3 weeks, I expect to see lockdowns across the United States. And you can mark my words. I'm going to be here every week, every Wednesday, 8 o'clock in the morning, Village Square, giving you the business. All right, let's see what happens. Huh? So, the misinformation, of course, is the real pandemic. Because if people were getting proper information, can you imagine? President Trump calls Dr. Fauci and the doctors this week and idiots. They are the ones trying to warn us that the second wave is coming. He is saying we've turned the curve because of he wants to win an election, which he's losing. That's why you see the guy I don't know what, the guy is just an evil guy. He's an evil guy because you're so selfish. You don't even understand. People want confidence that you can fix this pandemic, and you're showing us every day. We're seeing the numbers go up. It is now conclusively clear that the second wave is here. And you're telling us it's not important to go away, you know? People are tired of hearing about coronavirus. They want to open up the states. Open now. No, open the states now. Nobody's going to go to your building because people are scared. Nobody wants to die. And that's what this is all about. So yeah, hospital beds are scarce all over the United States. So please don't get sick. Go take your flu shot. Go get all your shots. Try to be very careful. Don't get sick, because you may not have any space to go to anything. You have a heart attack, that's your business. Broke a leg, oh well, we don't have no spaces. We don't have enough hospitals. We don't have enough ambulances to go pick you up. You're gonna have to drive yourself to the hospital. We don't have, because hospital, but you think these resources are not forever. And once you get to that critical level, that's when these places will be shut down. And the misinformation is the number one reason why, because people and the economy. The economy is really pressing, and I understand. Everybody's suffering from this pandemic economy. People are getting the economic stimulus. The Republicans are holding everything up. They're trying to blame it on. They're trying to blame it on Democrats. Trust me, they're not the Democrats. The Democrats are trying to get more money out. But the Republicans are saying no. They want to pass something, but it doesn't take care of a lot of vital things, like even contact tracing. It doesn't take care of. It doesn't take care of schools and opening schools. It doesn't take care of a lot of stuff. So there's no reason. They're just trying to pretend, but it's nothing. It's not the Democrats. Not saying Democrats shouldn't, maybe there's something they could do, but it's really not them. You see how dysfunctional the Republicans are. They're right now trying to push the Supreme Court justice in Amy Coney Barrett. They're trying to push her in because they know they're going to lose. And once they lose, they're not going to have any mandate anymore. So let's do it now. It's really sad. But hey, on the positive note, we're having fantastic early turnout, right? Fantastic early turnout to the elections, right? We have about 32 million people who've early voted in the United States. Please, if you haven't voted, just go vote. However you need to do, vote. This last week, I'm going to tell you something. My mom is so proud of her. She has not left this house for anything. Not even to pick her grandkids, take her grandkids anywhere, go to her kid's house. She has not gone to go and pick up her children from the airport. She has not even gone to go and buy her own groceries. She sends her daughters. Thank God she's blessed, so she can send her daughters to go and buy things. But this woman, nearly 70 years, this woman, I drove her to the post office, and she turned in her ballot to the post office. She even wrote them that she should pay $12, and for mom to pay money, you know, that's a serious issue. She paid another $12 to ensure that her ballot, she will get a receipt to know that they received it. That's how important it is. If my mom can risk her life and coronavirus at her age, she's in a vulnerable group, she's a Black lady, elderly lady. If she can risk her life, you have no excuse. And many people of her generation died for the right for you to vote. So please don't waste it. People in Nigeria are looking for good governance. You have a system here. If you allow this man to stay in office, you may be closer to Nigeria than you think. I really did see a lot of comparisons between the way Trump dealt with Portland and the way the army dealt with Nigeria. Of course, yes, there were no bullets flying in the streets, stuff like that, but it's the same concept. You send people down there to cause trouble, then now you want to blame them for causing another trouble. So I actually believe, in fact, that Nigeria, the government is going to send even a bigger, heavier force down to really crush the resistance. But they have another thing coming. These people, I think the Nigerian people have been pushed to the brink. They voted people in. They have been patient. They've been trying peaceful. And even when they are peaceful, they are going to be greeted with bullets. So there is no other way. We got to keep fighting. On the social justice front, of course, the voter suppression is real. Like I said, go vote. But on the Breonna Taylor case, it seems that the court, I think the Kentucky Supreme Court, has allowed the grand jury that indicted, came down with the charges for the Breonna Taylor case, the police cops there. They have allowed them to speak. So we want to hear what they have to say and what was said. But nonetheless, we are watching them very closely. There's a lot of things going on now in this pandemic, but don't worry, we're still watching them very closely. And of course, we'll keep you updated on all going on in regards to that case. So what else is going on in politics? Well, debates are coming up tomorrow, and we're looking forward to these debates. Just to see what's going on, see if there were some rule changes and this, that, and the other. All in the end, it is President Trump that desperately needs to make a dent. But I think people are seeing just from he has no plan. He's not telling us what he wants to do, just starts abusing people, and that's the only thing he's got. He's on rallies, this and that. Joe Biden is ready to just deliver some good ones. And I'm just hoping that come November 4th, we have competence. And I want to thank also, because this is no longer a political thing, in my opinion. This is a tribal thing. This is a cultural issue. That's why I talk so much about the American politics today, because it's no longer really about politics. It's really about culture. We have a tribe of people who just recently tried to revive the Civil War with a plot to kidnap the Michigan state governor. And these people in this tribe, there's nothing you can tell them they support Trump. And everybody else, everybody else is for Biden. And we're talking about Republicans. I saw a very nice ad with a bunch of former Bush 43 teammates, people that were employed by his administration. So we're talking about, like, the ambassador to Singapore, not just like, top officials, everybody. And 43 officials made this ad to say that they will be voting for Joe Biden. So I hope you do too. This is not about, let's save our country first. And when we save our country and we can now put everything, back the way it's supposed to be, then we can all go back to our party lines, and hopefully would have learned our lesson that we have to start working together and not fighting all the time. This is Americans first, party second. Yeah. So that's really, most of what I've got for today. In regards to sports, I'm just going to talk a little bit. I really don't have, I'm going to go back to Nigeria, but I just want to do some, the sports we had. The Pats lost. They've really been disrupted because of the Patriots really got in the NFL, really lost because the coronavirus, their quarterback had coronavirus, another player had to go, so they haven't had much practice. So the season is pretty rocky because of the coronavirus, but let's hope that they are, that they'll pick it up. I think they're 2-4, first time in like 100 million years that they've gone into end of October with a losing record. So they'll probably bounce back. And then the World Series has started. The Dodgers won. I don't know the score. I'm not really a big baseball fan. I'm just doing it as a public service. But, there's just too much going on, in the world today. Sports is just not important. Nigeria. Let me just look you straight in the eye. This is it. All right. If we back down, if we don't keep fighting, then the forces of evil would have won. Now, I know the first thing will be said is, look at you, you're in Dallas, you're going back to Boston, you're living comfortably. That's why you can sit and talk. Those of us on the streets, there's a different matter. And I can't deny that you are completely right. But in that same vein, I am where I am, and I can't change the past, but I can change the future. It's just a choice. And I want to implore all Nigerians and people who support our cause in the diaspora to look at your state of privilege. Whether you just reached here yesterday or you've been here for 20 years and you have your house and everything, we, as Nigerians in America in particular, all the metrics, whether it's education, finances, degrees, we are doing better than the American people themselves. Higher education rates, higher median income, it just goes on list. To whom much is expected, much is given. And I want you to, if you're listening, AfroSurgeRadio.com, reach out to us. I'm putting together people. There's a think tank at this very moment. And the idea behind the think tank is that let's think of not just send food. We will do that. And that is actually being done. So maybe we will not do that. Depends on what the members of the group want to do. But we will give a response, and it will be something lasting. Because I think the issue is not the pressure. The pressure is being exerted on the government, but how long can they continue if they don't see results. So that means there's maybe some education, some reorientation that needs to be done. And that is right up Afro-American Culture Initiative's alley. Support this group. Support it with your tax dollars. These dollars, I am 501c. These tax dollars, these tax dollars that you are going to give to Uncle Sam, it will be the same tax dollars you give to me. I will give you the receipt and you go and say in your tax, you gave it to a 501c. And I know that sounds, well, yeah, just say, that is what you're going to pay this money anyway. So why don't you do it for a cause that's going to help your country? And we're going to bring in other people from other groups, African Americans, Afro-Latin, Afro-Caribbean, and white people, people from wherever that want to support. We're bringing them together. Because this is not a political issue. This is a human rights issue. And we're all human. Nigerians, we have to break out of the cowardice. We have been told to be calm, and we've been told not to express ourselves. We grew up in military environment. We grew up in military environments where we were told what to do and this, and that's why we're all cowering like cowards now in our houses in London, our houses in America. Wake up. Your country needs you. You cannot be on the front lines. I get it. You don't want to risk your life because of your kids. You worked so hard. Blah, 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 blah. I've heard. But for Christ's sake, have some balls. Your country needs you. What are you going to wait until the whole place is on fire before you start thinking? Everybody looking confused. Then fine, if you don't want to do it yourself, if you don't, then send them bloody money. Let us do it. Those that are willing to work, let us do it. And you don't want to trust it, then you don't trust yourself. Because you have to believe in something. Not just sitting there, pressing like on Instagram, sharing Facebook, pray for Nigeria. Please, there's enough people praying. It's time for action. And if you're really serious, I'm talking to you. Join us, send the funds, let us get going. It's not for today, it's for tomorrow. So these kids, my children and my children's children, will be able to see the Nigeria that I even vaguely saw the end of. It's not going anywhere, mates. These people are not going to go anywhere. They have to be subdued. They have to be put in place. The same force they're coming after us, we have to come with them with force. We're not killing anybody. This is about brain force. Look at them now scrambling to see how they can control the message. But social media has overtaken their old asses. So, I'm not going to say my fellow countrymen, my brothers and my sisters, my children and my fathers and my mothers. It's time. The time has come. Are you up to the challenge? So I'll just give a couple of announcements before we go. God bless Nigeria. Next week, we have our Lives in Me challenge. We are giving away a free DNA test to help our African-American brothers and sisters learn more about their African heritage. So we'll be giving that away next Fridays. We have some contestants that have already put in. So I'm excited. They seem to be very interesting. So can't wait to hear to see what they're going to be doing. We'll give away. Let me give you a little bit about the competition. So you go to our website, you turn your you put your application in, and then we're going to put you into an e-raffle. If you win, you'll get a maternal African ancestry DNA test, which I've already bought. It's there in Boston, though. And you'll get free online cultural competency classes because we want to teach you about just cultural competency in general, and also African American cultural competency, because we as African Americans have particular issues having to deal with other people from other cultures, and considering our historical second class citizenry in the United States. We're also going to connect you. This is one of the best parts about. We're going to connect you to actual African immigrants living here in America that hopefully are from your tribe and country. Sometimes we weren't able to find, because some tribes are very small. So or maybe they don't travel as much, So maybe you may be from a tribe of people that we don't really not able to find, but we'll find somebody close, and or at least somebody so that you can relate to, and you can just learn, because a lot of the concepts of Africanism are very they're very common. Respect your elders, things like that. um and then finally, yes, next year we're going to have the next event. We have the next Lives in Me event will be next year. Normally we do it all in 1 year, but because of the pandemic, um, things to do with mailing the DNA test back and forth and all this election. So we just said, look, let's push it to next year. I think it's scheduled for the 14th of January, but we're not sure yet. I think that may change. And we're going to have a virtual fundraiser where we're going to be raising money for you to go to Africa once the pandemic is over. So really, we're really looking forward to next week, where we're going to celebrate our Lives in Me Challenge winner. So we hope to see you. Please go to our website to sign up, or just go to Eventbrite if you want to come to event and watch. We'll probably be posting it live, so I'm broadcasting it live. So I hope you guys stay tuned. Join our Afro-American vibes so you can see it as well. All right. And then on November 18th, we are going to be having, this is very exciting because we have a lot of signups for this. About 67 people are already signed up for African heritage cooking for the holidays. So we have a partner. Our cultural nutrition partner is Old Ways Cultural Food Traditions, and they are going to be teaching us about mafe soup and how to cook mafe soup, which is a sweet potato and ground nuts or peanuts soup. So can't wait to see that. We're going to be learning a little bit about Afro-American Culture Initiative and our and how we want to deal. And why we are really big into culture and nutrition. So we can't wait. If you want to go see that, it's a free event. Please go to register on Eventbrite, and we'll see you there. That's November 18th, right before Thanksgiving. So we'll be looking forward to that. And of course, we're still developing the online school. It's still on for 2021. First quarter, we'll probably have a launch date, a lot of events around that early in next year. So once again, we'll be doing cultural programming, online education, project management, event planning, financial literacy and entrepreneurship, cultural nutrition, civics, Black history, you name it. We have 204 individual classes that we're packaging and putting together into 6 curriculum for you and your family, especially during this pandemic. We all need online content to keep our kids knowing what's up. And okay, so finally, I want to say everybody should go vote. Everybody has been voting. We got about a little less than 2 weeks to go. 2 weeks from now, I can't wait for that Wednesday. We're going to be having some discussion, huh? Although, of course, they're still going to be counting a lot of the things, but it could possibly be projected, because, if the thing is looking like such a landslide, to be honest. Nobody wants to say it, because last time we thought that he couldn't win and then he won. So now everybody's being scared, but I think this is actually a landslide. So let us make sure you vote by mail, in person. If you're going in person, please be safe. I want to, of course, tell everybody social distance, wear your mask, wash your hands, don't be in any room, try to stay away from enclosed spaces and large groups of people, right? I know it's getting difficult out there. I know that with all this pandemic, there's a lot of economic stress. I don't know what to tell you, but in the end of the day, things are not going to be normal for a while. right? So basically all of 2021, we're still going to be recovering from this thing. So just want to point that out. We have to vote. That's where it starts. If we don't vote, nothing happens. So once again, I want to thank everybody for attending Village Square, where today the state of Village Square is still, we're sad, but we're still determined. Please check out our website for our COVID-19 resource hub, www.afroamerican1.org, or email me at info@afroamerican1.org. Thank you very much. Thank you, afrosurgeradio.com. And we'll see you next week for another episode of The Village Square. All right.